The ocean hides secrets that even time cannot erase. Imagine the silence of the Pacific in the middle of World War II, an endless blue horizon, calm on the surface, but beneath it, a hunter waited. Deep in the waters, a steel predator stalked silently, its crew holding their breath, knowing that one perfect strike could change the course of war. This is the untold story of the moment when an American submarine sent one of Japan's most powerful carriers, the mighty Shōkaku, to the bottom of the sea. The Shōkaku was not just any ship. She was the pride of the Imperial Japanese Navy, a floating fortress that had seen some of the most famous battles of the Pacific War. From Pearl Harbor to the Battle of Coral Sea, she carried the planes that brought devastation to American forces. Her name struck fear, her presence commanded respect, and her very silhouette on the horizon meant danger for the Allies. Yet even the greatest giants of the sea are vulnerable when the enemy is patient enough to strike from the shadows. For the crew of the American submarine, the mission was more than war, it was survival. They were deep in enemy waters, surrounded by danger, and every second demanded silence, discipline, and courage. One mistake could mean death, but one shot at the right moment could cripple the enemy's naval strength. As the Shōkaku moved through the Pacific, her crew confident, her planes ready, the submarine's captain saw the chance he had been waiting for. Torpedoes were loaded, engines quiet, and men whispered to each other in the dim red light of the control room. The tension was unbearable. Every man aboard knew that once they fired, they would reveal their position. If they failed, Japanese destroyers would rain down depth charges until the submarine was torn apart. It was a gamble with death itself. The periscope view showed the massive carrier cutting across the water, unaware of the danger below. Orders were given, tubes flooded, fingers tightened on triggers. In that moment, the ocean became a battlefield, though the enemy above had no idea. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, torpedoes left the submarine, rushing forward like arrows of fate, their wakes carving white scars across the deep blue. Seconds felt like hours. The crew waited, listening, sweating, hearts pounding. Then it came, the sound of impact, the thunder underwater that shook even the submarine's steel hull. Above, chaos erupted. The mighty Shōkaku shuddered as explosions ripped through her side. Flames burst, smoke climbed high, and sailors screamed as the once invincible carrier began to die. But the Shōkaku was a warrior. She did not go down easily. Her crew fought desperately, trying to control the fires, trying to keep the ship afloat. Planes rolled from her deck into the sea. Men leapt into the water as black smoke turned the sky into a storm of ash. The submarine crew, watching through their instruments, knew what they had done. They had struck a blow that would echo across the Pacific. The American captain gave the order to dive deep. Japanese escorts swarmed the area, their sonar searching, their depth charges booming in the deep. Inside the submarine, men braced as shockwaves rattled their bones, each blast threatening to crush them. Yet beneath the fury above, they held their silence. They had done their part. Now, survival was their only goal. And while they hid in the black waters, the Shōkaku's fate was sealed. The proud carrier, the veteran of countless battles, rolled onto her side, flames devouring her decks. Slowly, she slipped beneath the waves, taking with her hundreds of men, her engines silenced forever. The ocean swallowed her whole, leaving only burning oil and floating wreckage on the surface. For Japan, the loss was devastating. Another carrier gone, another symbol of power erased from the war. For the United States, it was a moment of triumph, a reminder that even in the darkest days, courage and patience could turn the tide. But for the men who were there, it was not just history, it was memory. The screams, the fire, the desperate silence of waiting under the sea, the thunder of depth charges, it all stayed with them. They knew they had faced giants and prevailed, but they also knew the price. War had no glory in the eyes of those who lived it, only survival, sacrifice, and the haunting knowledge of what it meant to send so many souls to the deep. This was the day when a single submarine struck down a mighty carrier, proving that even the largest warship could fall to the smallest hunter when patience, precision, and courage came together. The Pacific never forgot, and neither did those who survived to tell the tale. Answer: the story of the Shōkaku's end is not just about a submarine and a carrier. It is about patience in the shadows, courage under fire, and the relentless tide of war that consumes even the greatest ships and the bravest men. It is about how silence can be more powerful than noise, how a single strike from below can sink a giant, and how the ocean remembers everything, even when men try to forget. This was not the first ship to fall in the Pacific, and it would not be the last. But for those who were there, it was a turning point, a reminder that the war would be decided not only by fleets clashing openly under the sun, but also by hunters hidden in the deep, waiting for their chance to strike. The Shōkaku's name would forever be remembered, not just as a warship, but as a symbol of how even power has limits, how even legends can sink. And for the submarine crew who risked everything, it would remain a story etched into their souls, a memory of fire and steel, silence and survival, fear and triumph. The Pacific closed its waters once more, calm as if nothing had happened, hiding beneath its waves the wreck of a mighty carrier and the voices of the men who went down with her. But history remembers. The ocean may cover the wreck, but the story remains alive, of the day when courage from the depths pulled a giant into silence, and a submarine sent the Shōkaku to the bottom of the sea.